afternoon, and thank you for the second in our series of introducing and rolling out the Bluefort subscription management software to North America. We're excited because today we're going to talk with Nigel from the UK, who's the revenue director, and we're going to focus on the partner program itself, but something that's also near and dear to my heart. I mean, I've been in building software channels for 30 something years, and I can say that what we've put together here and what Bluefort has for partners is absolutely amazing. I was thinking collectively, I think we're at 1,000 years in multiple countries of experience in sales, marketing, and channel promotion and development, which is just staggering when you think about it. And but that also plays a part into what we're going to talk about today, which is that we have the answers for whoever is learning this or is selling this, and what the benefits are to each of those individuals, because it's different whether you're a Microsoft person or a services company or a VAR that's selling Dynamics and all the applications. And so those are all covered. And I think in the promo, we did a pretty good job. Our writers are good, even though Hollywood's on strike. I would have to say that our guys are top notch, so I'm not overly concerned about that. So, but they talk about go back and look at those points that they write, which is all about that the approach that we're taking is to help you. The hard work's been done. Now we're in this together, and not to go on, but basically, so my back, for those of you who don't know me, I've been in international software for 30 years now, and specifically around Dynamics for almost 15. So I know the landscape, and it's an exciting one because it's partner friendly, which is absolutely fantastic. But it's also essential to a business in regards to getting all of their different systems to work together. You have to be able to work with partners, but there's a way to do it, and that's what I think that we'll get into today with Nigel. So I live in Atlanta, which you can see behind me, and I'm excited to be with Bluefort now, and we've got all kinds of plans for the next 12 months, which include going to conferences like Summit and the IMACP groups and the Women in Technology, as well as a tour of the States and visiting you guys. So we're excited about that. So that's me, and I'd like to introduce you to Nigel Ridpath from the UK, who's in charge of as revenue director for Bluefort.
Yeah, nice to spend a bit of time with you today, EJ. And yes, I was just reflecting on how many of those years of experience in this area are chalked up to me, and it's probably more than I want to admit to. So let's move straight on.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, great. So we've got a few questions here, but obviously, Nigel, let's anything that comes into your mind, because we know how steering committees work. You think of the great things right after the meeting's over. Yep. So we have the benefit of inserting all of these, and this is one part, the second in a series of threes, but we're going to continue them. So we've got all kinds of plans. So can you give us an intro on who Bluefort Subscription Management is, and maybe a little bit about their history, because to the Dynamics partners, guys, these are all from that. So yeah. Go ahead, Angela.
Okay. So Bluefort is a company that's headquartered in Malta, and we have been busily selling ISV solutions and implementations around Europe. And we're starting to get more and more interest from North America, hence bringing you on board. Bluefort started as a dynamic services company, so we've implemented our fair share of F&O and CRM and BC over the years. But about 4 years ago, we started to build out a product, and it's one of those stories that you so often see. We saw a gap in the, particularly in the F&O capabilities that we actually needed as a business ourselves. We sell licenses, services on a subscription basis, and F&O out of the box didn't really cater for that very well. So we started to build out a solution, and we got talking to a number of people, and they thought that they could do with the solution as well. So the likes of Avanade and Columbus Global also picked up the solution and started using it. And so the ISV side of our business ended up being really the primary part of the business. So yes, we've done lots of Dynamics implementations in the past, but really our focus now is on our ISV solutions in the subscription management space, and that's primarily sitting on F&O combined with CRM. We do have a BC product as well, but I think for the purposes of this conversation, our kind of flagship offering is in that F&O and CRM space. And we build on the subscription billing bit that's in the out of the box F&O and really take it to a whole new level. So that's really our history. I've been with the business for 18 months now, and we're seeing the business really go from strength to strength.
Yep. Thank you. I mean, because it hits on so many aspects of Dynamics, both in the F&O, the operations, and sales and customer service. We encourage you to check out the videos and the links that we'll put together. Well, they're all available. They're all out there. That goes to the message that, guys, it's all there. Now we just need to talk about your subscription opportunities and help you identify those, which we'll talk about as well. But if you look at subscription, most industries are either there or they're moving into some kind of a subscription model, and they're testing it. The good news is that we're ahead of it because we're using it. You know, we're all in this together. We're all SaaS and service companies, so we've got all the same challenges that any. Can you talk a little bit about the verticals and what's best suited for Bluefort's products?
Sure. If I look at our customer base at the moment, we have most companies in the SaaS space, so it kind of makes sense that software companies that are operating in a SaaS model will be selling it on a subscription basis. And particularly where those organizations are selling B2B and they're complex and their subscriptions are quite complex, that's where it works best. Our second biggest group of organizations are companies that look a bit like us. They sell software subscriptions, but they also sell services on a subscription basis, and so we can handle that area. So software plus services, and then that moves into a broader professional services conversation. I was having a conversation with a firm of accountants a couple of weeks ago who had always historically just sold time. They were asked to do a piece of work. They did that piece of work, added up the hours, multiplied it by a rate, and sent out a bill to the customer. But they were interested in talking to us about how they can move to a subscription model for their services. So rather than selling that off as each piece of work as a time and materials piece of business, what they'd like to do is to be able to sit down with a customer at the beginning of the year and say, we're going to do your VAT returns once a quarter. We're going to do your payroll. We're going to give you 100 hours of advisory. We're going to do your end of year accounts, that sort of thing. And it's going to cost you, $10,000 a year. Sorry, a month, and then we can monitor those services that are delivered against that subscription that's been sold. So that's an area where we can perform really well. And professional services is probably the fastest growing sector for the subscription model. There are one or two other areas where we're seeing growth, and one of those is in retail subscriptions. So this could be pure subscription companies like beer clubs, or these companies that send you boxed meals for the price of a subscription. So we can handle that inventory side of subscription management as well. So, but you're right. It's odd where subscription crops up. I was even talking to a manufacturing company the other day that wants to add a new revenue stream for support and maintenance on the products that they sell, that they manufacture and sell. And we wouldn't have seen necessarily manufacturing as being a big area for us, but there you go. There's a requirement that's come out of the blue.
No, and that's what I'm hearing. And for you, Mr. Partner, I mean, we all see lots of game-changing applications daily, right? But I always put it into a bucket of need to have or nice to have. And what I've learned about this is that this really is a need to have, because we're talking about the money, guys. We're talking about the accounting, the revenue recognition, the collections. But then when we get into the CRM component, there's the sales opportunities. When was the last time you really loved your CRM as a salesperson? Well, if it's talking to you, giving you sales opportunities and on a daily basis, automatically out of F&O through the accounting and the way that it works, you're going to see a bigger ROI on the F&O and on the CRM. But to me, that falls into a need to have, and because you can tie numbers to it exactly. So let's talk about what kind of partner fits. Do you think this fits forward perfectly?
Well, I think the ideal partner, if we're looking at Dynamics partners, are those that implement finance and supply chain management, or stroke F&O, and also do CRM. That if we're looking at a sweet spot for what we do, then the partners that do both of those products in tandem is probably the area that where there's the closest fit. And the reason, as you say, is that our products sit on top of F&O and CRM and do all the talking backwards and forwards. So, as I say, that makes our flagship product set and offers maximum value to customers. So, any partner that operates in those sorts of spaces, there's a good chance that there'll be a good tie-up. We partner at the moment with organizations like Sysco Software in Ireland, who have those two competencies. They're the areas that they work in. We work with Avanade as a partner as well as a customer. We have partnerships in the UK with companies like Delaware, and we are expanding that network all the time. And actually, there should be a couple of announcements coming out fairly shortly about some American partners that we're close to signing up. So, but that's what our partners tend to look like, and ones that work in those areas really are where we can offer the best synergy.
Well, and that's for people looking at this, for partners thinking about just the fact that you have those Avanades and people like that using it is an incredible endorsement.
Yeah.
I mean, they could pick anything, right? And they're using this, or they can, put together their own or try to. But why do that when we've done the heavy lifting? But a couple of points you brought up that made me think, for those guys out there that are just focused on CRM, well, you now have a compelling discussion to build those relationships with your friendly ERP guys. So there's a dual track here of depending on what your business model is, we can look at, well, where does it make sense? But the general rule of of services and consulting is you want to be the leader in bringing things to market, since like we're talking about AI all the time and things like that. But so is the integration of applications and getting more out of your investment that you've already made, especially for the services guys, in being relevant to your accounts, in bringing things like this to the table for them to review.
Could I put a plug in for a special announcement hot off the press?
Absolutely.
We are announcing in this very webinar a tool that we've just developed, which will enable, given a customer's requirements, to do the fit gap against the F&O standard subscription billing versus what our product, which is called Lisa Business Pro, holds. So we can work with partners to go through a customer's subscription management capabilities and produce a report that will say, this is the fit against what's standard in Microsoft with subscription billing, and these are the things that can only be managed with Lisa Business Pro. So that will be available in the next 10 days or so.
That's insane. That's crazy. And for those of you in the business, and what he's talking about is what an accelerator in collecting the information and being able to present a proposal in a very, very short period of time, without all those man hours and everything. But that kind of goes to what I wanted to point out, was that not only are you getting the Bluefort Sales and Marketing International team to help you, but there's also the lead generation from all these partnerships that we talk about. We can't go into them today, but if you look up GoCardless and Stripe and what he just mentioned, the Guide 365, we're all together here. So there is a lot of cross-selling and upselling that is already in place, and this is something that we can leverage today. I ran into a number of partners recently at an IMACP thing that we're using this year, and then love it. So that's excellent. So what's in it for the partner?
Okay, well, I guess this is what everyone's been waiting for, right? So in North America, generally speaking, sorry, before I get into the specifics of North America, we have a partnership program that really is split into two levels. There's actually three, but yeah, let's concentrate on the two to start with. The first is a referring arrangement. Now, that doesn't mean we've got to have any partnership agreement in place. It could be that you just come across somebody who you think might need what we do, and we'll give you all we need to do is have an NDA in place between us, and then you pass across a kind of warm introduction, and then you can walk away and leave that to us, and that might suit some partners. And for that, we will give you a bit of a kickback on the licensing should we complete that sale. But the partnership level that is kind of more strategic, if you like, is one where we do need to get a partnership agreement in place, but we will work with you on a kind of co-sell basis with your customers that need subscription management. So the typical use cases where this happens are either you have a prospect that needs the subscription management bit that we do, and you're working to sell the, let's say, the F&O bit, and we would work together on that opportunity with you, and there will, our element would be services and licenses, and we would give you margin on both of those elements. And like I say, that is a proper co-sell approach to the prospect. The other might be a situation where you already have a live customer of let's say F&O, and you've discovered that the customer really could do with a more enhanced subscription management features, and then you bring us in to layer that bit over an existing implementation. And yeah, we've done both of those multiple times. As I say, that would also attract margin on our services and on our software. If we do a few of those deals together, we will also offer you big discounts on our software to use in your organization. So if you're running F&O and you're running CRM, then we can offer you a big discount on our internal software if we're working at that level. So that's the partnership program that we've rolled out globally, and we have a number of partners on that model, particularly in Europe. But there's something I guess particular about North America in terms of where we are currently, and that is we've got you and our marketing team working very hard at generating opportunity in North America, and currently we're going to need to work with partners to implement the solutions that we sell ourselves. So there's absolutely opportunity for us to bring you deals and get you to deliver them for us. So and that goes from a few points on some software to being full projects that you can that we can be delivering into you. So I think there are some really strong conversations we'd like to have there, and those sorts of arrangements are a real game changer, I think.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. That's those of you nodding off. Okay. You just said we'll bring you leads. How many SaaS partners actually do that? All right. That's a tall order. But that's the world we live in, and that's why this is a need to have, because there's just so much activity in so many aspects of the business that touch on subscription that it really is a key component. So yeah, we're looking for, and I'm talking to many of you right now about getting you on board to be able to handle those opportunities, and let's knock it out of the park. Then I guess, do you have any other points at this point? I mean, I generally I'm excited enough I could talk all day, but
well, I think we hopefully that's set the scene enough in terms of the sort of solutions that we offer, the markets we operate in, and how potentially we can work together with Dynamics partners. So hopefully that's whetted the appetite a bit.
Well, that's fantastic. And of course, to get in touch with us, there's a million ways to find us, but Bluefort, and through LinkedIn, through the bluefort.eu, all these places. We're on AppSource, obviously. Look on AppSource and find us, and we'll be happy to set up a call and a presentation and kind of walk you through the different areas and help you identify if this is a good opportunity for you or for somebody you know, right? Clients, customers, consultants, Microsoft people. You touched on something I wanted to point out, which was you guys in the middle of an implementation or MCS or any of the groups that are doing a D365 implementation. This may be a game changer. I hate that, but it still is true because of the way that it would be incorporated into the actual implementation. It may help the situation so that dollars could be routed to something else, right? So there's a lot of triggers, but if you're actually trying to win a deal right now, and we've got other ones where Microsoft, in collaboration with the partners, big partners, was able to win the deal with a significant part of that value coming from the Bluefort piece, and this is all available. We'll share with you what we did and how we can do the same for you. So, well, Nigel, thank you very much for your input and all your contribution to the 1,000 years of experience that we're offering.
yeah, let's cut that.
That's a tall claim, but I think we can validate it in multiple things. So anyway, but thank you very much, and look forward to our next fireside in 2 weeks. And we're going to be talking about. It's going to be interesting because the lead account manager for UK and Europe, we're going to be chatting about exactly what we go through in speaking with partners and give that kind of advice and tips on how to have conversations and how to overcome objections or just help people, learn what they don't know, right? Or point out things, especially with numbers, right? Numbers and money and accounting. That will give you the pinpoints and the trigger points to identify and talk to a customer. So with that, I'd like to thank you again for joining us. Those of you, it'll be available forever, I think, right? Online. So
all right.
Thank you now.
Thank you.